If we're being honest, most sales plans kind of suck. They are way too complicated, they are way too long, we never ever open them again, and we don't actually trust that they're gonna get us to the income goals we want, and they probably won't. I think we all know what it feels like to write up this really nice sales plan, feel really good about it, and then 2 weeks later we realize we've completely abandoned it because it wasn't actually working well. It just wasn't getting us the results we wanted, and it was feeling way too complicated to even possibly execute on. So today we're going to talk about why most sales plans actually suck, why most sales plans do not actually work, and what is the solution to actually fix this? Because I think we can make sales planning so simple and also make it something which really does work for us to actually get us the sales and get us the clients and income we're really wanting to in business. So we're going to talk about why sales plans don't work and how you can actually make yours work over the next few months. Let me tell you, I am fully guilty of this. I used to be that person. I could not even tell you how many Google Docs I have on my computer of previous sales plans that I have written up 5 years ago, where they are 10 pages long. They are so complicated. I tried to just Taylor Swift mastermind this and just really create this crazy complicated plan. And then it just doesn't work. Either we can't execute it because it's just way too complicated for us, or we do execute it, but then it doesn't actually work and it doesn't actually get us clients. And we were relying on, X number of people signing up for that free event, and then they don't. And then we're kind of screwed with the sales plan. So how do we actually create a sales plan which actually works for us? I think I found the answer to that. A few years ago, I was really over just these messy sales plans. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore with just this 10-page sales plan. So I created a 1-page sales plan for myself. And I wrote this out a few years ago at the time when I was making about 1K a month in my business. And I was very unhappy with making that amount with the amount of work that I was putting into my business. So I created a 1-page sales plan. And I did this, and the next month was a 7K cash month in my business. And the next month after that was a 9K cash month. And it all came from this 1-page sales plan. This was the simplest sales plan that I had ever created in my entire life, and also the most effective by literally like 7 times. And I want to walk you through today why actually sales plans do not work in the way that you're probably currently doing them, and how to actually make that shift towards a 1-page sales plan and actually making that really simple for you. One of the biggest problems that I see with sales planning at the moment is just focusing on too many offers. And I think rightly so, I completely understand why we do this, because we feel like us having more offers means that there's more routes people can pay us, means that there's more potential ways that clients can come in, and it feels safer, right? And it feels like a good decision to say, okay, here are the 3 offers I'm going to be selling over the next couple of months, and then have essentially a really big sales plan because we have 3 whole offers that we're trying to sell and we're launching and all of these things. And also, a lot of people listening to this, you're probably the only one in your business. You're a solopreneur. I am myself as well. And you don't necessarily have a team to be working on these things. And when it's just you, we need simplicity. This is the number one thing, which is make or break for anything in the business, as you know. If something is too long, too difficult, too hard, it's not getting done. Or it might get done, but it's going to be a really bad job, or it's really delayed getting there, and everything else has to be sacrificed for that. The biggest thing that I see with sales planning at the moment is we're just making them too bloated. We have way too many offers. We're talking about so many different things, and we don't know where to focus. And focus is a really important thing when it comes to a sales plan. You want to be really intentional, you want to be really strategic, and you want to be really focused with this. So actually having multiple offers is really not serving you. And that leads me to the second problem that I really see with sales plans at the moment, is that we don't actually really have much of a focus in the sales plan on the sales activities of what is actually going to be getting those sales. I think we mainly focus on what we're selling, and then we'll focus, 30% on how we're actually going to sell that thing. The main question we'll ask ourselves is, okay, I'm going to be selling this mastermind. Here's the price point. Here's the payment plan options. Here's how long it's going to be. Here's what's included. Oh, and then by the way, here's how I'm going to get the clients. I'll throw this free event, and sure, we're going to have 20 people maybe signing up, and we just kind of pull that number out of thin air. But actually, we need to flip this script. We need to be spending 20% of the time on what we're selling and 80% of the time on how we're going to be selling that. We need to be flipping that, because if we're focused then on the sales activities, we actually know what we're going to be doing each day to make those sales. We're not just putting this pie in the sky number and just picking this out of nowhere saying, I would love to get 20 people come into this event. We have an actual plan for how we're going to be getting 20 people coming to this event. So this is the thing where we really need to flip the script as well and stop spending so much time time trying to perfect this offer and thinking that, oh, should it be 12 months or 6 months? And really just perfecting this area and making this complicated with so many different offers and all those things. Instead, we want so many different sales pathways. And again, this is a really big switch we need to be making, is instead of saying, I'm going to find my consistency and predictability and safety essentially in my business by having 3 different offers, what if instead we have one offer, but we spread the eggs across multiple baskets, using the eggs in baskets analogy, by having multiple sales pathways, aka ways people can come into this offer. So we're selling that one offer, but we have 5 different ways that we're planning on getting people inside that offer. That is really effective. You can get so focused. It allows you to be really strategic. You know exactly what you're talking about and what you're focusing on when you're going to create content and sell every single day. And also, you've got multiple sales pathways. So when you're saying, I want 5 people inside this offer, we're not just relying on one free event that you're doing and hopefully that will work. We're saying I'm doing the free event and also I have a 30-day challenge and also I'm doing this workshop for a guest speaking thing and also I'm going to be posting content each day and also I have this disappearing bonus. There's lots of things going on and lots of ways people can jump in, and that makes it easy for people to predictably jump in. Now, some sales plans already for sure do follow this advice. However, a lot of those become busy and then we say, okay, great, I'm going to have lots of sales pathways, but we kind of take this into overdrive. And then we say, okay, how can I do this? I'm going to do this launch this week, this launch this week, this launch this week. And we make it so busy, it feels overwhelming. And I would always say with sales pathways, we want to have 3 to 5. At any one time, we want to have 3 to 5 over the next few months that we're focusing on. And this keeps it really strategic. And also it forces you to get strategic and get focused on what is actually going to move the needle. What are the ones that are actually going to matter, and not just adding fluff for the sake of adding fluff, because it's so easy to say, sure, I'll throw a free event. Not thinking about that's actually going to take a damn load of your time. And also, is that going to be most effective for you specifically? And this is where we get to the point where sales plans just don't get used, where you'll write up this pretty document. It sounds great. We've really masterminded this whole thing. And we never open it again, because it was 20 pages and because sure, we have really planned out those sales pathways, but there's way too many of them and you have 8 different things and it feels like you're constantly balancing between, okay, this launch is happening next week, but I also need to prepare this and I also need to reach out to this person and I need to do this as well. And there's 1,000 different things happening at once, which especially when you're a solopreneur, you're the only one in the business, this is not going to work. And we know that already because you've probably got sales plans sitting there collecting dust somewhere on your Google Drive. And this is where the 1-page sales plan comes in so beautifully, because it is 1 page. I'm not saying to you create a 10-page document here, not even a 3-page document, not even a 2. We are sticking to 1 page. You're not allowed to go onto the 2nd page here. And this means that we have to get so intentional with what makes the cut. If it doesn't fit onto 1 page, that's not okay. We need to make it fit onto this 1 page here. So this is the cover photo for mine, which I'll have above that 1 page. So it's the 2nd page of that. But actually having 1 page is just so intentional because it forces you to really think through your decisions. It forces you to have that one strategic offer and then also think through, when we're talking about sales pathways, what is actually going to make the cut? What are those 3 to 5 sales pathways which are actually going to be really strategic for me and are actually going to be most likely to get me to my goal? And how am I doing them in a way that is really intentional? It just forces you to get really focused because we only have one plan to do this on. And this is the 1-page template that I have literally used for years in my business to create a multiple 6-figure program. I've had a 7K month with this. I've had a 9K cash month. I've had a $24,000 sales month with this, literally using this 1-page sales plan. It is so simple and it is so effective. And the things that we'll really focus on inside of that, as I said, were really, yes, your offer and what you're selling, but mainly how you're selling it. And we really get focused with this. And one of the things I do with all of my clients is we'll have real conversations and we'll question, why are we adding this into the sales plan? Why should it make the cut when we only have 1 page? Why is this thing making the cut for this 1 page? Is this actually going to be the best decision, most effective, and also just the best decision and most aligned for you specifically? Now, this sales plan really is the finished document here. There is so much discussion that goes into this. Me and my clients will sit down for 90 minutes and we'll map out what is actually going to go inside of this, what is going to make the cut, not just for what are we selling, how are we selling it with the sales pathways, and also what is the messaging we're using, because that is really the bow around this that ties all of this together and makes it easy for people to actually come through those sales pathways because our messaging is set up to be really effective. So we'll essentially look at every single aspect of how can we curate this plan to make it so effective effective that it's difficult for it not to succeed, essentially, in terms of you using it and executing on it because it's so damn simple, because it's one page, and also in terms of the strategy being really well thought out and really planned out to make it easy for you to actually get results and actually hit your next income level with this. And then my clients walk away with a beautiful one-page document that they can actually go and execute on and they can actually implement over the next few months. And that's partly why they get such incredible results while working less, is because we have things like this one-page sales document, which make it so easy for them to get those consistent results without just a whole load of work, because we're being so intentional with where their time and energy is going. So if you're ready to create your own one-page sales planning document, I'm very excited to announce that for Black Friday, I am opening up just a handful of spaces for 90-minute one-to-one intensives with me, where we will sit together and we will literally have your one-page sales document template open on the screen, and we will create this together. We will literally sit and write this up together. We will question all of the sales pathways. You'll hear my advice and my opinions and just my expertise from all of the hundreds of clients I've worked with about what I see working right now for your offers, your industry, etc. And we're gonna just figure out, what are you selling and how are you selling it? And we're gonna create your document together. So at the end of our 90-minute intensive, not only do you get another week of Telegram support with me, so you can ask all the questions as you're actually starting to implement this and make any tweaks we're needing, but you're also gonna walk away with literally a PDF document with your sales plan written up. So you don't need to type it up. I'm typing this up for you. And we're having 90 minutes to literally work through this together so we can make sure whatever makes the cut for this page is actually gonna be the most effective strategy you could possibly put into place right now. This is extra exciting because I've literally never opened spaces for this before for anyone except for my 6-month one-to-one coaching clients. So I'm so excited for this. I'm opening this up just for Black Friday, and I'm doing 50% off of this as well. This price is gonna double, and doors are going to be closing after Black Friday, so you will not be able to jump into this again. So if you are wanting to book in a 90-minute one-to-one intensive with me, where we will write up your one-page sales plan and you will literally walk away with your own copy of this, then go to the link in the description and schedule your 90-minute intensive with me. I cannot wait to see what your one-page sales plan looks like, and I'm so excited to create this with some of you and just to see the shifts that come from this, because this is honestly the most transformative document that has led to huge shifts for myself and my clients, and just really simplifying our sales within business, and also really getting focused with where our time and energy should be going to actually really massively increase our income. So I'm so excited to take on some of those intensives with some of you. Again, make sure you go to that link in the description and sign up ASAP, because there are very few spaces for this, and the doors were going to be closing and the price is going to be doubling at Black Friday as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful for figuring out your sales planning method and maybe scrapping the idea of a 10-page sales plan and coming around to the idea of just a simpler one and making things simpler for yourself and just more strategic. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss new videos every single Monday. And on that note, I will see you in the next one.